I remember this one experience. I was in ROTC in college, and it's a whole bunch of college undergrads learning how to be, future officers. And we're in this lecture hall, and the professor asked the question, "Do you think it's professional for officers to curse in the military?" And everyone, including myself, essentially said no, because that's kind of like the persona. Like, again, a lot of us are naive. We're just like, we're supposed to be officers, we're supposed to be professional, we're supposed to set the example. And then there was this one guy who was like, "No, what are you talking about? It's the fucking military. Like, what do you mean?" and and he was right, And so that always stuck with me. He's like, "Man, that guy had the courage to like kind of be the weird kid, but he wasn't the weird kid. He was also, he was the weird kid. In many other instances, he was a strange individual, but he was absolutely correct in many of those times where he stood against the group. And so it's difficult, man. And there's so much pressure to conform for good reason. Like we mentioned before, like you don't want to overwhelm people with your complexity. You first meet someone. I, I used to be, and I still kind of am cynical about small talk. Hate small talk. Hate it. But I know that it's necessary because you aren't just doing small talk. You're communicating that you're a social animal that can read cues first. It's like you want to establish that baseline. And then if someone wants to take the conversation at a deeper level, then you can do that. But yeah, man, that question of when to conform to society and when not to conform to society, I think it's just a crucial one.
Definitely, I think that's one of the bigger talking points for me too. And the way I kind of frame it is, how do you hold yourself accountable for your habits? And I think a lot of times in society, when we're getting into social spaces, we're like, you got to have good friends, first of all. Like, this is only something that works if you have people around you that spend the time to actually get to know you and pay enough attention to know when you're doing something that's not really beneficial to you. So they wouldn't have to be, you have to have intelligent friends, and then you have to have attentive friends because they need to know your patterns well enough to know, like, bro ain't being himself today. What's going on? What's really, you know what I'm saying, keeping you out of that space? And even like you said, the military example is great. It's like, don't allow the pressure of the guy that's whoever the lieutenant or higher ranking officer is to keep you from being honest about your perceptions of the military. You should be willing to be honest about that, regardless of where you are. And like you said, though, in these social spaces, some people lose track of their personal identity in a way that's not advantageous to the group at all. Like, if we all feel this way, it should be more than one person that's willing to say that. And like you said, a lot of times in social spaces, there is an aspect of groupthink. If one or two people answer a question a certain way and the room reacts well, most of the rest of the answers will follow that. Most people aren't going to be willing to break that grain or that rhythm, whether it because they just want to go ahead and get through to the next topic and they don't really care about the conversation, or because they don't have this fear of being exiled. And that's going to be a word that I use a lot when we talk about social cues, because it's like most of the fear here is, well, if I do something that's too weird, people won't want to talk to me no more and I'll be lonely. That's the whole extent of social fear and structure. So it's like, oh, I don't want to dance on Instagram because if people don't think my dance is cool, then they're gonna make fun of me. And it's like, that's okay. Because if you do put the dance out and they love it, whether it's good or bad, people are going viral for looking crazy or doing a good job. But your lack of confidence in self and what you bring to the table will keep you from knowing how you could be received if you're not willing to be yourself. And I think that's the bigger lesson for me with this is, how do we create this social clarity that allows people to be themselves and not be completely oblivious to the group think in the room, to where it's like you're unnecessarily causing chaos in the space. Like, there is some necessary chaos, but then there's like, bro, you could have let that one go. And that's why I'm saying I'm chaotic neutral, because I like chaos, but there's certain stuff I just don't. I'm not finna hit the. I'm not rocking the bear. The bear got it. I'm gonna go ahead and leave him with the honey and the bees. Either way, that situation is just stupid. Because if I mess with the bees, I'm getting stung. If I accidentally wake up the bear, I'm screwed either way, and I don't get either the honey or my life. So it's just certain situations where chaos isn't what you need.